Hi, second grade. Welcome back to another Wit and Wisdom lesson with Mrs. Jones. We are going to go ahead and take a look at lesson 16. Let's read our I can statements. I can compare stone soup and bone button borscht by talking about the story elements. Let's dive right in. So we're going to go ahead and just remember or review a few of these stories, what happened, who the characters were, what the problem, action, and ending were. So in Bone Button Borscht, not quite sure what's going on with my computer. In Bone Button Borscht, we have the setting is a town. The characters are the beggar, the townspeople, and the problem in the story was no one in town is giving the beggar food. So his plan of action is he's going to make borscht for the town, which is kind of like a soup or a stew, and the townspeople give him ingredients. The ending is that the townspeople throw a party and the beggar leaves. In Stone Soup, let me just go ahead and move myself. In Stone Soup, the setting is a town. The characters are the soldiers and the townspeople. The problem is that the soldiers didn't have any food or a place to stay. The action is they made soup that they, meaning the soldiers, made a soup that needed ingredients from the townspeople so everyone can eat. And in the end, the townspeople threw a party and the soldiers leave. So today we're going to go ahead and do some talking. There will be a secret word somewhere in this lesson that you will have to remember for the end. So let's get talking about it. We are going to be doing a Socratic seminar. And if it's been a while and you don't remember what a Socratic seminar is, it's usually where we come together and we talk about the story. But because of the distance learning, we're just going to have to do this one-on-one with me and you. So our topic today for the Socratic seminar is, in your opinion, were the soldiers or the beggar more helpful in nourishing the community? We know nourish means to provide food and have everything that they need to be healthy. So I'm going to give you about 15 seconds to think about, you think the soldiers were more helpful in nourishing the community or the beggar was, and why? Go ahead and think about that. Okay, so if you thought the beggar was more nourishing in the community, go ahead and give me a double thumbs up. If you thought the soldiers were more helpful in nourishing their community, do like a little wave. Ooh. So that's your opinion right now. I have a couple of questions for you. How are these stories alike? I have both of the scape charts here for us to see, and I want you to think about how these stories are alike. Go ahead, take a look, and I'm going to give you about 15 seconds, and then we'll come back together and talk about it. Go ahead. So when I first look at these scape charts, you can go ahead and give me a double thumbs up if you found the same thing I did. The first thing I notice is that they both take place in a town. Double thumbs up if you got that. I also see that in the characters, they both have townspeople. Double thumbs up if you got that. The problem, well, that's a little bit different. I could say that the problem was there were people, strangers to the town that were hungry. The specifics are different. So we could say similarly, the problem was they both had strangers in the town that were hungry. If you had something like that, double thumbs up. Okay, their actions, they both decided to make a soup using the townspeople's ingredients. If you had that, double thumbs up. And at the ending, they both throw a party and both of the strangers leave. Double thumbs up. Okay. So now my next question is, how are these stories different? Go ahead and think about that for 15 seconds and we will come back and share that together. How are these stories different? Go. Okay, so let's see. Going with our theme of before, if you got the same answer I did, you can go ahead and like do a whoop whoop. Okay, so one of the things that I noticed were different were who the characters were. In Bone Button Borscht, there was a beggar, and in Stone Soup, there were the soldiers. So if you got that, go whoop whoop. Okay. So what the problem is now a little bit different in both books. So the problem was that in Bone Button Borscht was that the beggar was hungry and no one would give him food, versus in Stone Soup, the soldiers were looking for a place to stay and they just didn't come with any food. If you got that, do a whoop whoop. Okay. One of the other differences is that in Bone Button Borscht, down here, they made a borscht, which is a different name and different ingredients. And in Stone Soup, they made a soup with the different ingredients. If you got that, whoop whoop. And lastly, I remember it's not necessarily in the scape charts, but for Bone Button Borscht, he does give them his buttons, and I guess it's like the main ingredient, you know, like there was stone first to start out with Stone Soup and buttons for Bone Button Borscht. So if you got that, give a whoop whoop. Sorry, I thought I muted myself. That's why I paused. Okay. And my last question to think about this is, how do the characters in both stories feel at the end? So I want you to think about, this is tricky, about the townspeople in each story, the beggar in Bone Button Borscht, and the soldiers in Stone Soup. Let's go ahead and think about that for 20 seconds because that's a lot to think about. The townspeople in both stories, the beggar in Bone Button Borscht, and the soldiers in Stone Soup. How do they feel at the end? Think about that. Okay, I'm going to start with Bone Button Borscht, and we're going to keep it a little bit lower energy now. If you got the same answer as me, you can go ahead and touch that nose of yours. So at the end of the story, the townspeople, I think, were feeling happy, and I would use a word like united, like they came together. And they were a lot more friendlier because they had cooked this wonderful borscht with this beggar. Finger on your nose if you got that. Now, the beggar, I think, was feeling grateful that he was able to bring everyone together and that he was able to get the food that he needed. So if you had that same answer. Go ahead and touch your nose. Okay, now for stone soup. So the townspeople at the end of stone soup, I think, felt a little less grateful. And I think they were just kind of feeling really happy that they all had something to eat. They were feeling full. Their bellies were full. A lot of new friends. So they just had this really overall feeling of happiness. Finger on your nose if you felt that too. Now the soldiers, I think they were feeling well rested because they each got a place to sleep, and they were feeling full. Their bellies were full. And I think they were feeling energetic because they were able to keep walking home. If you thought something similar to that, go ahead and touch your nose. Okay. Our last part today is using the sentence stem. The beggar nourishes blank by blank. So remember, nourish means to give food needed to live, grow, and stay healthy. So who did the beggar nourish? Go ahead and tell me. Right, the townspeople. So the beggar nourishes the townspeople by doing what? Go ahead and finish that. The beggar nourishes the townspeople by if I had to finish the sentence stem, I would say the beggar nourishes the townspeople by helping the townspeople to share food so they all can eat and be healthy. Something that you might have said was the beggar nourishes the townspeople by helping them cook some food. And that would be great too. Good job, you. All right, one more sentence stem, but before we do that, we're gonna do a secret word. So the secret word today is soldier. Can you go ahead and say that? Soldier. You have to remember that after this sentence stem. Remember soldier, because that's your secret word you need to put into your Google form today. So we're going to complete our sentence stem with stone soup now. The soldiers nourish who? Who do they give food needed to live, grow, and stay healthy? Right, the townspeople. The soldiers nourish the townspeople by doing what? Go ahead and take 10 seconds and finish that sentence frame. Okay, let's compare. So I said the soldiers nourish the townspeople by sharing healthy food with all of the town. You also could have said the soldiers nourish the town people by, I forgot my train of thought. Oh my goodness. By making a soup that the whole town could share. That would be a great one too. So that is the end of our wit and wisdom lesson today. You need to go into your Google form and enter that secret word. Do you remember it? If not, you're gonna have to go back and rewatch when we find the secret word. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.